I'm still getting set up, so I need you to give me a couple of minutes. I found some pictures, some space pictures that I copied down to my phone because I wanted to kind of doodle with them today. And yeah, I'm just trying to pull those pictures up. I have all my pictures from my phone go to oh, here we go, backup in Google. So I just need to grab them, download, and then there's two that I want to play with, and there's probably a way for me to show you, but I'm not quite sure what that way is unless I like print them out. So yeah, I'm just gonna have them open and to the side so I can look at them while I'm painting. Let's see, downloads. Okay, so the first one is it's really cool actually, and I can't tell if it's like city or like the earth, the atmosphere above the earth, and the earth is lit up, or it could be another solar system. I'm not actually even sure, but I'm doing this small because I'm just doodling today. So like down here, it's either like the planet, and there's a lot of lights in it, and then there's like an atmosphere type area, and then just a beautiful night sky. And I just wanted to play with that and see what I could do. And then the other one is like a proper galaxy. It's just all black in the background, and just right here, I wasn't going to do this one first, but maybe I should and just sketch it out. So there's like just like a light in the center, and then twirly kind of like stars. And around that area is like a blue, and the stars are like a yellow orange, and then everything else is black, and it has like a light blue and some white stars in there. So that's what I was going to play with today, but first I'm going to do the other one. I can't honestly tell if it's the planet or not, but I'm going to go in with the lighter colors first so I can get those out. And there's some whites in here, and then some kind of yellows and oranges around here, and then the mist or atmosphere part, it's like cloudy, grayish, bluish. So yeah, it's just a playing day. So we're gonna play. What do I want for brushes? That's my question. I don't really think I need very many small ones, so I'll just stick with those. Move this over here. And okay. Use my trusty little rack. I've got my paint set up and wet, so I need to move my closer so I can reach it. Yeah, so just a doodle day, really. I'm gonna see if I can kind of prop that up a little bit, and I'll just start with wet on wet because I just want to get like the idea down. and get some colors blended, and then I'll probably re-wet this many, many times. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. So first, I should have probably mixed some colors first, but oh well. We're gonna go with like a really light value of this kind of like. Do I want it like? I actually want it a little bit like peachy, so grab a little bit of red. Probably less red because now we're orange. But actually, that would work very well too. Just really light value. So just dump a bunch of water in there, and then kind of really want to be specific like where I'm putting this, because blue and orange don't go well together, and the colors all down here are blue. But I think I'll probably use more like of a black or something, or Payne's gray, and just want to make the shape. There we go. And this can all blend out. And then the other thing is white. So I'm just going to drop some in here. So if I put anything over it, hopefully I'll remember where that area is. And yeah. And then I'll do, let's see. I think I'm gonna kick myself in the morning, of course, but I'm gonna go in with a little phthalo blue first. And I'll just, the whole sky will be blue. My paper's already starting to dry. And I'm going to stop there because it is going to have that kind of atmospheric like look. And I want to just define this. I'll keep that definition. And I'm going to just take some water and soften that so that I can keep that that kind of like fuzzy atmospheric look. Probably going to regret using this blue. I love it so much, and I hate using it because it's just such a pig. It takes over everything. But it'll fit. So I think, let's see. This is kind of dry, so I'm going to dry it and then re-wet it. That's all we're doing today. Just playing a bit. I want to keep defining like these areas because this is really like bright and it's only darker down here, but I really should start playing with that as well. So I think I'll wet it down again. And I'm going to start from the bottom up so that I don't drag that blue into the orange. And then this part here, that's going to be kind of like misty. That's going to kind of naturally cloud up, you know, with other colors over time. Colors will blend down like that there. So, yeah. I'm not really going to pay too much attention to that right now. But I do want to get more color in here. And I think I want to... I think I'm going to go kind of add a little bit more yellowy. I'm trying not to drag in like the brown that's around there. I should have cleaned, but there's like one really strong bit there, and then this is just kind of random. It's Friday. Did everyone have a good week? We pretty much did. I'm going to start to bring in, I'm going to use some Payne's Gray and put it down here. I'm just going to kind of absorb whatever color was there. Looks like a dark brown or purple black or something. I'm just going to absorb that. And I'm going to go in kind of light because I don't want it to overtake so much. And then I do want some white areas, but I don't necessarily want these like the spider webs. So I'm going to soften them out. And I'm going to keep that shape, hopefully. So just a little bit of water. Just going to soften them out to kind of blend them a little bit better. And get rid of those spider web. Sometimes I love that look. Today I don't want that. And I'm going to take out a little bit more in the center because this part right here is actually really, really bright. I do need some in there, but maybe not. Yeah, that's good. Because I'm going to still need that dark to actually show that it's bright, right? Then just add a little bit more and get a little bit darker in places. And then do the same thing, get rid of those spiderweb things. I don't actually know what it's called, but and I'm being kind of like severe with how much I'm taking off because as I add more, it'll just will keep growing. So I'm trying to be a little more conservative in the beginning than not. And I'm already the size of it is a little off. It's grown too much. So just keep going over. Not really hard though, because I don't want to ruin the paper. But this is already like turning, like, you know, some of the orange is going up, some of the blue is coming down. And I will add like a really light value. Maybe it's kind of purpley, so maybe like a purpley blue to show like that mist. So, and then this has already started drying, but I am still gonna just mix up some Prussian blue, take over this phthalo that I had there, and just start to add it in. So it's kind of like a diagonal blend. Ish. And it will actually have a pretty distinct line there. And then I'm just going to take some water and kind of make that nicer. Just water. And go from light over to dark. I think I'm going to start to put some color in here. And this is, like I said, a pretty... My connection is unstable. And I'm not really sure why. Let me see if I can figure that out. Poor network connection. Okay. I am connected. Good strength. Okay. It does look like it's working fine, but I have had so many problems the past couple streams that I'm starting to wonder if there's something I need to do with my computer. Give me what is happening? It's really unstable. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out. That looks like it's better. I didn't really do anything, but okay. And now it started drying and I can't have that. So I need to wet it all down. So yeah. All right. If it keeps acting up, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll see if I can do something. That's way darker than I wanted. But I definitely wanted to I'm kind of starting to lose my yellow there too. Well, this went off the rails rather quickly. All right, let's see where I am. I'm gonna kind of share this around and soften it, and then dry it and see what we can salvage. So just a little bit of water just to soften these areas. And I'm going to come in with some brighter yellow because I'm kind of losing it there at the top. And I don't want that. And the blue has really come down pretty far. And I was, before everything started going awry, I was going to add some purple in here, which is why I wet it. Actually, I really think this lavender might do nicely. It's gonna dry lighter. And I'm just gonna make it less straight, kind of blend it in without blending it in too much. And now, yeah, I don't want a line, so I'm just gonna go up so I can dry it and not get any lines. But I need to get this under control a little bit more. Actually, it doesn't much matter if at the bottom it kind of creeps up, right? That part is kind of okay, but I don't want this. And I think just for giggles, I'll throw in some white. Kind of get that blending a bit. I'm going to let that move because there's a lot of like white kind of dots in there. I don't know. I know this doesn't look like much right now, but we're actually not really that far off. So I think just soften some of this. And I think I'm going to dry that there. Okay. Looks like the connection thing has sorted itself, maybe. And now that I have like the colors kind of where I want them, this will continue to stay like misty kind of color. It'll make, I think, a little bit more sense as we add more. I want to kind of keep it loose, but also still give some details in here. And so I kind of have to reverse paint a bit. That's not really my forte. So I'm going to take my smaller brush and go very light and slow. But I think I need to clean off this palette first. I really don't have much for like light and yellows, and they get contaminate so easily. So I think I just want to start fresh right here. Give myself a little room there. All right, so I think I'm gonna start with some lemon yellow. Get a little bit of that on. And I think I'll also put in some little bit of new gamboge. But I think I want to tint it a bit because I want the color, but I don't want it as strong. So I'm going to throw in some buff titanium and then probably some white. Just a little. Soften it, but keep the color like that. Yes. Okay. Let me get some more yellow though. So up in this area, there are some, a little bit more water. I'm not going to wet it again because I actually want this to kind of be more solid, I guess is a word. And then I'm using the yellow, and I'll probably go over with the new gamboge also. And then I'll bring in a little bit more white. And it won't be like a proper white, but I'm just kind of trying to shape what I'm seeing, you know. And just add some color. I mean, there's going to be more layers to it also. And more colors. And of course dog hair, because can't have anything without dog hair. Yeah. So I'm just kind of trying to play around a bit and get a good kind of like base shape. And it is a little yellow, but it's also a little like orange and whatever. Rather than mix the two together, if I just kind of glaze, I don't know if this is going to work. We'll see. And this is mostly white, but there is some color in places. And then this down here, a little softer, like that. And as is this. And I'm just kind of adding some water to get rid of the harsh bottoms. And then I'm also going to do the same with white. Wait a second. Hold on. Okay. I think I'm definitely having some internet problems. The camera will come back on soon. I don't know why though, and I don't know how to fix it. Because how do you fix the internet, right? It should come back online. There we go. All right. So I'm really sorry. I don't actually know what's happening, obviously. But I think everything should be up and running. I think I have to talk to my husband though, because I really don't know what's happening. I may need him to fix it. So there's like all of this white kind of interspersed in here. And I might go over this later because this is supposed to be like pretty bright white. But I'm just adding it in now just so that I can kind of preserve that area. Even if I go over it again. Yeah. It'd be so much easier if I knew what I was doing. But can't know what you're doing if you don't do it. But I'm fairly happy with that. And now I'm going to take some Prussian blue. I'm going to add a little bit of water. And I'm going to just gently add it in places and negative paint like around the white. Just kind of add in what I'm seeing. And my watch is telling me that it's time to stream. It's really, really nice. So Payne's Gray, because I want to transition between these two. So I'll just keep kind of going back and forth. Grab a little bit more concentrated color. Come back in over here. Then I can add just small places with just keep going back and forth. And now I don't mind if this white blends into the blue. I'm using a lot of water, so it actually will move. And then just the edges. Soften those out. Like so. And let's see. For this, like, I think I'm gonna dry this and then start working like in here up. Because I do want that a little bit softer, but that will happen when I do this area here. All right, let me go over here and check one thing. And $12.30. Okay. Okay. Just sorry. Just found something that I needed to send. All right, that's all set. The kid has arrived at his destination much, much later than expected. So just checking in on that. So, all right, I'm going to wet this down. I'm going to more focus on here, and then I'll work on the top. And I think I actually want a bit of a bigger brush. And I'm going to leave, just going to barely touch what's already wet. And then wet everything else. And take any paint that's on my brush off. Just really make sure that there's a decent amount of liquid down there. I'm starting to move blue around. So I just want to put the water on and go. Like, yeah. I don't want to take it off. Just want to put it on. So now this is like a really light purple color, but it's also like a, what color is that? I think that's Payne's Gray. So if I mixed actually this together, ooh, right there, that color right there. And I added a bunch of water right there. And I had this in here, and I could go darker as I go up. This is kind of here what it looks like. So it's kind of like gray clouds, and there is a little bit of blue kind of playing in around the top. So I just want to interrupt that. I'm going to get a little bit more paint, soften that. Yep. Kind of like that. And then down here, I'm gonna wet a little bit more. And then I'm gonna come in with some white, some really diluted white. I'm just gonna go over there. And that blue wasn't completely dry, so don't want to spend too much time over there, but I also want to pick up some of that color. And because I've wet that, now I have to wet everything else, but I'm going to be super careful. Okay, well, super careful. I'm just going to have to keep picking up any color that's running. All this. I'm going to come back in with this kind of purpley gray. I'm going to deepen it a little bit and add it there. And follow up with some white. And then I'm gonna come back in with some pretty concentrated Prussian blue, just right from the pan, and get back that kind of lighter, darker. Let these blend a little bit more. And actually, I think I'm going to bring the Prussian blue all the way over. And instead, I'll come in with some Payne's Gray on these areas that it's kind of supposed to be darker. And it's kind of, yeah, you can see it there. So I'll pick up some more blue and then some water. Very light water. I just, actually, I'm not going to do anything to that. I am going to have to change my water though, because it's now turned, I've kind of lost the purple in here. My water's been contaminated, so So I'll just switch them out before. And I know I'm just kind of making things worse, it seems, but I promise we'll get there. I definitely, oh, so dirty. Everything's so dirty. I want to come in with some more white and kind of drop it in these areas again. Just soften. Think definitely need to change my water, but I'm going to come back in and brighten up some of these places that have been kind of muted, and let that just move, kind of soften them up a little bit. And I'll do it with both the orangey color and the yellow. Just to give a little bit of brightness. This is like all covered, you know, in atmosphere. So it's like all cloudy, and just made a green there, and I don't want it, so pull that away. It's not very like specific. There's just a few places where it's more specific, you know. I think I'm going to scrape a little bit more blue up there, and a little bit of yellow down there, and then come in again with my light value gray purple, which is kind of starting to get muddy-ish, but it's still actually looking the way it should. So I think what I will do now is, since this is still really pretty wet, and I think I'll drop in just a little bit more Payne's Gray on the edges over here. Blend them in a bit. And then I'm going to add some white. Just kind of like sprinkle it out and let it go do what it wants. I'm going to use a much smaller brush for that. And then I definitely have to change my water after. There's nothing that's clear. There's no clean water anymore. So I'm just going to fill this brush up, and I could probably use a smaller brush, but I'm going to just do that and then do this. And I'm going to put a ton because this is a really very, very, very starry night. But I don't want all the same values of stars. I want background and foreground to make it that much more starry. So dump that there. Give it a dry, and then can fine tune a little bit more. And change water, because that needs to happen. But first I'll dry. All right. So it did get a little darker and muddier in there than, like, in person at least, than I had wanted, but it's still really not that far off. So I think we'll do more white. I'm really just going to kind of try and save as much of this as I can. And yeah, out there. And take this brush again. I'm going to really try and concentrate this. I want more paint than water, so I want it pretty thick. And tap some out. And as I said, this is like crazy, crazy starry night, and you can't really see the ones that I had in the background, which is fine. It just gives kind of movement and the idea of more stars, I think. Get that corner. And then these, when they dry, they'll be a little bit less as well, so we'll do a little bit more. I mean, it's really, really starry. Lots of tiny, tiny little stars. And then I will slowly put this down and just do a little bit there. And then concentrate more up here. But I don't want that much like down there, so I wanted to give the top a head start. Look at all these stars. I will come in and make just a couple of bigger ones. not there. I want to concentrate them more on this darker side. And I would like them to be kind of round. Or at least round adjacent. Like that. And then I will come in and kind of brighten up where it should be really bright. I'm going to add some white over here, because there are areas that are like really like pure white. There's a big chunk here. But this still will dry. I mean, it's watercolor paint, so it'll dry less than it looks now. There are a little bit. Like so. And you can see like where it's already dried, it's really kind of lightening up, and that's quite okay. Softening up some of those edges. And that's kind of it. I could do a little bit more actually on this side, but because this looks a little, I'm trying to not be too specific, but also still capture like what I can see in the picture. But I'm going to soften this down here like that. And there we go. So earlier I said like I can't really tell if this is like the earth or if it's land or whatever. I don't still know what it is, but these are lights, not clouds. In the picture is obviously a lot more specific or clear than what this is. So that's one of the pictures that I wanted to get done today. Done. And I'm not actually unhappy with it. I wanted the picture, but in a little bit of a looser style, and that's pretty much what I did. But of course it looks the best when the tape comes off. Huh. It's honestly my favorite part. I like it though. It's yeah. It's not exact, but I'm not going for exact. I want it a little bit loose. And I think that that's good. So I'll put this aside to dry and then get the other picture that I wanted to work on, which is very much a kind of standard galaxy. But it's also very specific in a way. I should just print these out so you can see them as well. Oh, there's my tape. So yeah, it's kind of like a standard galaxy, but maybe I could just print it out quick. Let's see how it comes out. Local page setup. No, I don't know what I was printing, but that was no. Image. Yeah, okay. Print. Let's get that printed. And then if it works out, I'll show you I'll print the other one too. So much dog hair. But get a nice white frame around this first. And then I'll just tape it down again. White frame for me is like almost the best part. Let's see. Finish this and then we'll see if the picture came out. Look, I can't even, it's not even a dog hair, it's my hair. And then I'll have to clean my desk because there's white paint pricks everywhere. Let me see if I can get that other picture and if that will print out as well, so that you can at least see what I was going for, what picture I was looking at. Where is it? Where? No. Where did it go? Open with image. There we go. Let's see if I can print this one too. Okay. I don't know if these will come out. We'll see in a second. But I guess then you at least should have an idea what I was going for. And I'm just double taping the first tape so that I have that nice crisp white border. And then this one is to prevent warping, which works and doesn't work. Depends on how much water you play around with. So let's see. This is like the other galaxy picture that I was thinking about doing. And now I can't see anything because all of these pictures are blocking my view. So I thought this might really wet. This paper is like drenched. I thought this might be good in watercolor, but we're gonna have to really just try and see. And this is one that I'm gonna do now. And then this is the one that I tried to kind of more base this off. And the way it's actually, these are more like pinky orangey printed than it is in the picture. But it's kinda ish. That's what I was going for. And I don't think I went all that far. You know? So let that dry and work on this one. And this one also is kind of pinky. And what I think I'm gonna have to do, this is beyond my skill set, really. I mean, let's just be honest. But what I think I'm gonna have to do is put in these kind of stripes where I want them first, the galaxy star bits, and try not to pay attention to too many details. Yeah, I can't really get lost in the details. I might, yeah, so I'll put this peachy color down first and kind of get the shape in, and then I think I'm going to have to kind of reverse paint the blue in and then go from the blue out to the black. And I'm not going to make it completely black like this. I'll just use the Payne's Gray for that, so it'll be blackish, black bluish. But yeah, this is I'm not, this is going to be hard for me, so let's try. Put it up there so I can look at it, and then I kind of need scale too, so I'm gonna need some smaller brushes. So this one and my 0, tiny. What size is this? 2? No, 2. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with these. Yeah. So I think I'm just gonna do this center part dry on dry. And then I think once that is kind of set, then the rest can be more wet on wet. But it might not even need, I don't know. This is going to be definitely a different one for me. And I think I'm just going to sketch a little bit. And if I had thought about this before, I might have actually even done some masking, but I don't really have the time to wait for it, and you can't dry it. So So there's going to be like a little center here, and I'll make it so that dark enough that you can see it, and then I'll take it away. And then from the center there will be lots of like, not lots, but some kind of lines of, to show that it's a galaxy, right? And then it will have much bigger ones coming around. And this oval. I'm trying to get the like that-ish. This actually comes further in, comes closer over here. So take that one off. And then I'm not going to go too much more than that. And it's actually fatter on this side, on the outside ridge, than it actually is. I'm trying not to be a perfectionist, but like that, or maybe a little bit further out, like that. So, ish, right? Ish. There are more kind of like more of these. I don't know what you call them. Yeah, so I'll get that in. And now I'm just, I did it dark enough so that you can see, but now it's light enough that like I can mostly see it. And so I know where to put what paint. So now, I actually think this kind of tinted color from before was pretty nice. But for that, I need clean water because I really made a mess. 1 second. All right. Shoes off. It's warm today. I was going to have my window open, but in there was some heavy machinery outside. Actually sounds like they've stopped, but you know that as soon as I open the window, they'll start up again. So, all right. So I have my galaxy kind of painted in. I just needed clean water, so I can mix colors. And now everything won't be green from the dirty water. So I did like this color that I used last time. So it's going to add some new gamboge. This one kind of seems a little bit more pinky though. Also. So I'm going to drop in a tiny bit of Quin Rose. It's kind of more orangey. It's more red than pink. So we'll go ultra pink. And I think we've kind of lost that. Well, let me tint it and then see if I need to add any more colors. No. I don't really mind that it's more kind of, it's still pink. All right. And I'm going to go thicker than I need to. I'm going to make these thicker than they should be because I want to make sure that I don't lose them. And there's a very good chance that I might lose them, that is. So, yeah. If I go in thicker than I need, then I have room to kind of go over it with a darker color, right? So this center part is more white, and then this pinky part is kind of just more around here. And I'm hoping it doesn't have to be even, because I can always fix that later, and I still want it to be fairly thick. I can kind of redefine the shape and stuff after. And then I think I'm going to tint it even more and then do this kind of center part. There are some pieces here that are darker. And then that actually might not come out, but that's okay. So that'll be the outside of it. And then I'll add more white and get it even lighter because I don't want solid white in the center. I do want some color, but I want it far, far lighter than that. And usually I use gouache for this, but today I'm actually seeing what this titanium white can do. I don't use it often because I use gouache more, but I think even a little bit lighter. Like about that. And this is pretty thick paint, which is good. It will hold its shape. And then I'm going to put this in the center so I don't lose that like main star. And then I'm just going to come around and try to make some of these swirls that are in here. Maybe like that. I'm thickening them up a little bit so I have some wiggle room, because I think I'm going to just have to paint in between to kind of get that blue and keep the contrast and not lose the galaxy. I think I'll have to really be very careful. So I'm going to dry that. Ooh, and that dried a lot darker than I was thinking it would. So probably, and also, even though you can clearly see the rings, that's what they're called, I guess, the rings of the galaxy in there, they are still not like sharp lines. So I'm thinking I'll probably go over it with some white after, and that will actually probably tone down this darker ridge. Although it really doesn't matter so much at the same time. And I'm just going to come straight in with Prussian blue because I really don't feel like pressing my luck with phthalo anymore today. I love that blue so much, but unless it's like the only color, it's just such a bitch. I think I want it a little bit darker. Wait. No, that's fine. Okay. I mean, a little bit lighter. So just keep adding water in one spot and dilute it down. And I'm going to come in and just paint lightly. And I'm using the smallest brush I have. And I am overlapping just a little bit on some of these rings because they don't have to be this thick. This gives me wiggle room. And I can also kind of define the shape better. I have no idea if this is going to work, but we'll see. Kind of hyper focused now, so I'm probably not going to be talking all that much. So you'll have to cover for me. I'm not also worried about like the shades of blue because it will still get darker, and we'll go over it a couple of times also to kind of keep refining the shape and getting a deeper color in there. So on the last pass, we'll make sure that we get everything and keep it wet, so we don't have like dried line marks. So just keep painting until it's kind of where I want it to be. Something along those lines. And tighten up a few areas. Make sure the paint kind of has like there's no dried paint marks in it, etc. There's too much paint on the brush there, and I just went over. Kind of need like a point back here. Take some paint from there. Kind of define the shape better. I did want to have some kind of pointy ends here as well. And this is exactly why I made it bigger, so that I could kind of play around like that. And then this is where it's going to be harder, because I am going to kind of follow along outside. So I can define the shape of that. A little bit more. But eventually it's going to start to get wet, right? Ooh. Maybe a little bit more water. Brush really isn't made for like big washes, you know? So it's harder to get some of the... Ooh. Some of like the color further away, you know? I have to remember to finish my sentences. It's harder when I'm concentrating. This one is going to be nice and thin, like that. So I'm kind of like, I think this is technically called negative paint. I'm kind of using the paint around what I want to better define the shape. Should really learn all these terms though, so I don't sound like a complete idiot. Okay. Now from here I can go a little bit bigger. I can start to spread this out more. And I'm not really concerned about like dried lines or anything, because eventually all of this will be wet and we can get that night sky in. We'll get like a decent blend happening between this blue and the black. I've kind of mostly defined the shape, so now it's just kind of evening out the paint and spreading it out further, so I have room to play. And I don't care that it's fully even, but I am going to try and, you know, take away any like big shelves color. So there was a lot of water there, more than was down here. I don't even know if this is the best way to do it or not, but I don't know. There's some paint that is staying very, very close. Oh. I made boo-boo. And I really hope I can fix it. Ish. Sure. All right, so there is that. And now that is still wet, I'm going to just take some water. And I'm not really caring about the color at this particular moment in time. Maybe I should. But I'm not. So I'm just going to get everything as wet as I can, and I'll probably very carefully put a lot more water there. Just wet all of this. Kind of get as close as I can in there. And then I'll come in with some blue in a very big wash. A lot of Prussian blue just everywhere. I'm just getting pigment on the paper. Try maybe to get rid of some of those. Like that. And then we can really start deepening up everything around here. So then it kind of has like a glowy effect, right? Lighter toward you get when you get inside. And it's still like pretty sharp and stuff, and I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to deal with that. But I'm going to dry this now. Do I want to dry this now? Hey, broccoli. How are you doing? Maybe I should... I think I'll start with some Payne's Gray along the edges. It is nice and wet, and it will blend well, so I don't want to get rid of all of that blue. I want a good combo. And then I'll take not a lot of water, a little bit of Prussian blue, and come and spread that out a little bit. Like that. And I think I'm not going to push my luck. That I'm going to give it a dry. Once I suck up some of this extra paint so it doesn't make my life hell. And I think I'm not going to push my luck. I'm going to try it. What are you up to, Broccoli Bingus? Are you streaming today? All right, so now like this has a lighter area around it and I like that and want that. I need to make this darker. I'm not making it black, but I do want it darker. And I'm thinking I might come in with my detail brush and just some water and kind of lighten up that area a little bit. This could be a huge mistake. I don't really know. I think I actually want a piece of paper in my hand for this one. So I can control how much water is on there and no drips and stuff. I think I kind of want to lighten this up a bit. And kind of match more what's like outside the room. Just a little bit more. Nothing has to be perfect, but it wouldn't be me if I didn't try, right? I am liking that. Not that much water. I'm just reawakening the paint with some water and taking it off with a dry brush. This probably wasn't the way to do this, but I guess you won't ever really know. Don't try. I am getting some blue on this center part though, which will have to be okay. And I want to take off the most in here in the center. Which will also be the trickiest. So I'm just trying to move the water around so it starts moving the paint around so I can slowly scoop it up. Just lightening up a bit, and that is good. It's also like becoming kind of uneven, and I'm surprised that I like that. Oh, yeah, that's much better. Do it that way. I'm going to do it that way. Much better, I think. Ooh. I like it. I like it. I'm not sure I'm going to get any more up than that, but I'll just give it another pass and see. I think I'll stop there as she puts the brush to the paper and doesn't actually stop there. I'm getting like a little bit up each time, so I do like that, and I'm gonna stop there with that one. So now I kind of have to figure out how I'm gonna go around this center area and make it a little bit more exciting. I think I still have some dark blue along the edges here outside, which I could try and pick up as well. I think if I fuss too much with it though, I'm gonna start to regret it. And then I'm gonna have lines. But I am gonna do the background at least another time. So I think I kind of have the time to play a bit. And it doesn't have to be completely smooth because it's going to be space and it does have stars and inconsistencies. But I think I'm going to pick up this, at least this darker like edge from the first time and get as much of that off as I can. Because I think I'm going to re-wet the kind of galaxy thing itself. And so it can spread a bit and maybe add some white. I don't actually know if this is what to do, but it's play day, so we're going to find out. I'm going to use some clean water and reawaken and just get it kind of wet so I can also pick up some blue that comes into it. Like there. I think this will also lighten it a bit so it'll kind of fit better. Got some on the blue there. And it is really lightening it up as well. not kind of fading out, but that also really isn't that much of a problem, because if I want it to fade out, I need to wet all the area. So I think I'm going to get this down to kind of where I want it first, and then I will re-wet and don't use dirty water, and see where that gets us. So this isn't too, just put my hand in the paint. This one is not so dark, but I'd like to lighten it up a little bit. And it's fully re-weakened now. But I don't want to go too crazy and lose the definition in there. So I think I'll dry this, and then I don't know. We'll see. I think I need to wet this whole thing. And I think also that I'm going to get more white and get that ready before I do this. So it's ready to go. I also want it to bleed, but not so much. So I want this kind of more thick than watery, I think. Now I have to see if I can get this wet without ruining it. I'm going to get a lot of water, and I'm just going to okay, now the blue is awakening, so let's get this wet. And just, okay. I'm going to take the small brush and come in with some white. And I do not know what this is going to do, but we will find out. I need to stop putting my hand in wet paint. We will find out. Ooh. Okay. It is really bleeding out, but it's also kind of staying put. I think I kind of have to do the same thing, but the reverse now. And go through and kind of clear out some of this blue. So kind of like what I just did, because I do want the blue to show. I'm going to come along with some water here. I think I'll actually come in with, while this is wet, this may be a big mistake. I hope I don't ruin it. I hope. And put some of that blue back in a hopefully fairly controlled manner that still makes it look I can't talk right now. All right, still makes it look a little fuzzy-ish, but now we've gone and made it darker again, right? I think I've just undone all of the done that I've done. And this is all wet. I have my hand in it. Okay, let's do the background and fix my handprints and keep that wet. So no, not there. So take some Prussian blue again. Go around there. Take some water. Lighten that up. And then kind of scoop some away. And then come in with some Payne's Gray again. Because remember the photo is like black, and I can't get pure black. Like, I mean, I could layers and layers and layers, but I don't want to. So I kind of blended fairly well, actually. A little bit up here. Okay. So I got a little bit of fuzzy. I think I'm gonna have to do that again, but it's a little bit more dry now, so hopefully it won't spread as far. Oh, it won't spread at all because it's actually quite dry. I could come in with some. Don't touch the paint. Yeah, talking to myself. This one will spread, and I'm actually way okay with that. This will dry a little bit translucent, so that color will come through. Need some more water. So actually what I'm thinking is if I took a little bit of water and then came around and I just put paint. No, that was not the thing to do. Not the thing. Don't do that. Not the thing. I was gonna like try and kind of soften it, but because nothing else was wet, I'm gonna stop futzing with that. That's what I'm gonna do. Actually, I'm gonna wet in here a little bit to get rid of that sharp line. All right, I'm gonna stay with that like that for now. And wow, just wow, that's really cool. Thank you. Axolotl 698. Axolotl. It's not a common name. Love it though. Love it, love it. All right, so now I have to thank you for the follow also, Axolotl. Now I have to figure out there is some kind of like depth of color in there. And I'm wondering, now that I have that base, if I can like kind of come in with this lighter peachy kind of color and maybe wake up this. Yes, I'm one of the last of my kind. How so? I can breed you in Minecraft, you know. So I think if I maybe come in and add some touches of color to kind of break up the white a bit, and then maybe it would kind of be like sparkle, like stars along. If I do that with both colors, maybe some of it could bleed out a little bit. That would be quite nice. It could be a little messy too, and give kind of the appearance of it bleeding out a little bit. And that has bled out a lot right there, but I'm going to keep it. Well, this is my alt. I have another axolotl on my PC Twitch account. You have 2 axolotls, so you can breed yourself. I'm kidding. I think that this will genuinely come together once we start adding stars and stuff, I think. Let's see. How come you just don't have both accounts logged in on your phone and your PC? Just wondering. Okay. So I'm thinking, I don't know really what I'm thinking actually. I kind of want it to be a little bit more fuzzy, and I want this to be a little bit darker. So I'm thinking that I should dry it, wet it again, and I think if I wet it again too much in the center, then I'll run into the problem that I had before. But I think if I wet it and do the outside, but then come back in when it's a little bit more dry with some of these colors and some more white, then maybe that'll do what I think I'm trying to get done. Okay. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? I think I'll dry it first and just see. I'll do that. Dry it first and we'll take it from there. Okay. All right. I need this to be a little bit less specific, right? Less kind of drawn, a little messy around the edges, some differentiation of color inside. And I want this kind of deeper and also a little bit more blended, because for me at least, there's like really dark, kind of like muted blue, and then a lighter blue. And I want that to be a little bit more even. It's really nice up here, good transition here, but not so much down here. So I think I could regret this. I probably will regret this. But I'm going to wet it again carefully. I'm going to let the center dry more, so it's not really wet. I'm going to add paint along the outside of it. And then when it's just kind of barely getting dry, I will go in with some whites. It's actually looking fairly dry now, but I think that's like a fake dry. So, no, I need that brush. So I'm going to come in with more blue and more black. And I'll actually be able to see here. Yeah, it's still kind of faking me out, kind of dry. So there's some blue. Get that down. Rinse off my brush. Clean water. And fix this a bit. Like that. And then come in with some more Payne's Gray. And I'm going to try and bring it further up. And this will be the last time regardless. So the Payne's Gray's down, and now I'm going to come back in with clean water, Prussian blue, and blend that as well as I can. And I'm just going to concentrate more like on the edges here. And I'm going to let, since it's still kind of wet, I'm going to let the paint kind of go in, like bleed in on its own. Maybe not this much there. Yeah, like that. And now I think I'm going to try with this kind of peachy color and see if we can get, nope, I dried too quick. Okay. All right, I think I have no choice then to just wet it a little bit more. And really watch the drying so that I can get the spread that I want without it spreading too much. I think I'll grab some more yellow too, a little bit. what happens, I have a tiny bit of time. So what happens if I took some of this yellow and some of this peach and mixed it together? And get like an orangey peach. That could go good as well. Still too wet. That's okay. Oh, I have blue in my brush. So add some yellow in there, and I'm going to come in with this a watered down version of this tinted peach. And let that spread a bit. Quickly, because it's starting to dry. I'm trying to rough up the edges just a little bit too, so there's not like super straight lines. And then I'm gonna come in with just some water and try and tame a little bit of the spread. I don't actually want to touch it too much. I'm just going to leave a lot of it, actually. And let it go crazy like that. But I am going to take some white, some water, because now it's like very peachy. I want the center to be more white with color around it, and then white in these areas. So color without all the color. And if it spreads or doesn't spread, that's okay. I'm not trying to replace everything. Just trying to add some sparkles. And break up the color a bit. So, yeah. It looks quite messy right now, I think. The problem that I have, and this is Um, I'm looking at the photograph, right? And the photograph is ridiculously awesome and clear and realistic, right? And I'm not trying to paint that, but I kind of do try. Because that's what I see. So I do have a problem kind of with loose stuff. But I think I'll do the white on the background again for stars and let those have time to spread. And actually, some of these are kind of more blue. So I might tint some of the Prussian. I'm trying to like make some bigger ones. That's why I'm using that, like the drop it down method. And then just I did get some water there. It's pushing it away. And I don't want that. So I'm going to use dry brush. And nope, I'm going to use this. Just kind of tap it. So there's some like inconsistencies in the sky. And now they all like match, right? And now I'll dry it. All right. Lots of tiny little white stars. And I think we're going to call this done. Grab some more white. Take the water off my brush and small stars. I was going to tint some Prussian blue, huh? I guess I'm not now. Just going to add lots of little stars. As many little stars as I can. And I'm going to take a bigger brush, not that one, this one. I'm going to do the same thing, but I want some bigger dots, right? Should I tint it? Ooh, maybe, maybe. Let's see. I don't know. I think I'll stick with dots, these. And now I need to fix that one. But I think what I'll do is, because it's still wet, just come around. Kind of fade it out a little bit. And I'm not putting a lot of water on my brush at all, so by the time I'm getting to this, it's a really dry brush and it can fade out a little bit more. So I think that's that for that. Are we happy with that? I can't really say that we're too happy with that, but I really need to stop looking at the picture and come back at it. I think the thing that bugs me the most is that the shape should have been more elongated compared to the picture. So I think I need to stop looking at the picture and just look at this. Maybe if I squint my eyes, it looks good. But let's see. Favorite part. Did I have nice clean edges the entire way? If I was a betting person, I would say no, but yeah, no. Then I would have won. Mostly clean edges. Just a couple of blips. Which I could really cover if I really wanted to with like a white gel pen or something like that. Get rid of it. Or if I scan it in, I can remove them that way. But there's that. What do we think? The shape is off, and that's really bugging me. But I mean, I guess you'd know that was a galaxy too, right? So maybe. All right. What are we at here? 2 hours, 40 minutes. I think that's good. These were the two that I wanted to do today. This one has warped a bit, but I think we did pretty good going off of those pictures. The only way I'm going to get more experience is by doing them. So see what I mean with the shape? It should have been thinner and longer. And yeah, I'll try it again. And then this one, I kind of wish it didn't print out so orangey. But I think I kind of got the purple mist right. But, so those are the two that we got done today. A little bit of space for you, for me. And I think we're going to call it a day. Thank you for following Frankenstein Doctor. But I think that's going to be it for us today. I definitely want to try something like this again in the future and see if I can get the shape right. But overall, I'm happy. And I think I'll just capture as many kind of space photos that I see. I can just grab them, save them, and paint them. Because I did have a lot of fun doing that. And yeah, maybe I'll clean my desk after. And I think they came out pretty decent too. So we'll keep that for next time. I'll find some more space pictures so we can have a space doodle stream again. And then we'll do more. So that's going to be it for me today. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather, even if it's really hot. Soon it will be cold. Enjoy the weather. Take care. Bye-bye.